Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome once again friends to the NPTEL module on handling large scale data using Stata. We are now in the 12th lecture of this particular module, where we are trying to explain the use of Stata with some demo data. We have in the last class we have already explained the very basic background or understanding of Stata. Now, just by saying understanding is not enough, we need to explore some operation with the help of Stata. Let me quickly proceed to exploring the Stata operations. Let us have a database like this. We have already shown you this kind of database earlier in our earlier lectures while we explained different data sets. Now, the data sets now we are referring is from ISDS, India's Human Development Survey, which considers different format of data set. You can extract the data, or you can operate through Stata, you can operate through Excel, you can operate through SPSS, you can operate through SAS version. There are different versions given at the right hand side. Okay. Since we require Stata version, we can download the Stata version, and generally Stata version data comes with .dta file. Okay. And if Excel version are also there, you can also convert into Stata, but it requires little more procedure. Okay. If there are text version also, there are also procedure for extraction. Okay. So, now since I am sticking to exploring Stata with the DTA file, I am not spending much time here. Now, let us open a data file in Stata. How to do it? But as you remember that I suggested in the last class to open the data set through browse window, not through edit window. Now, I will just show you here. There are two options. One is I am just keeping my cursor here. It shows the data editor. Now, it shows data editor browse. So, it is always suggested to go for data browse, because browse once you have opened, by any chance you have it does not give change options. If you change it, then it will be very problematic for you to operate later. What kind of change you have done, it may be very difficult to track it. So, better to go by data browse if you just want to see the data. Okay. There are many other options also in the data editor, we will explore later. Now, once again I am going to open a data set for you. So, then only how to do that? If you have a data set already loaded, which I have already just shown to you, ISDS data, I cannot operate from ISDS at this moment, because it is a big data. We need to again take a sample data of it for operation. If you are continuing with a big data, generally it consumes byte space. Also, while browsing the data, it consumes time. Okay. So, it is always better to for your learning, better to go by a sample data or a demo data. Now, so to open a data, the simplest way is just click this folder. Just click this folder. This is coming. Otherwise, you go to file and you can get it. Otherwise, this folder option is there. It will folder option will actually, if you have a loaded data already, you saved it from ISDS or from NFHS or from NSS, it will come up with another entry in this particular folder with .dta extension. Okay, .dta extension file, and if you double click on it or just click and open, it will, you can open the data. So, I am not going to open that data because it is a lengthy one and it will be very difficult to understand the operation of Stata. So, I will start with the same data set we have already used from the Stata directory, okay, that is through system use sys sysuse space directory. Otherwise, if you know the exact directory data, that is called live xcp or auto, we have already used, we can open that. Now, let me first explain you what is all about in the slide and how you should actually remember those sequencing of entries, okay, in the slides for better operation. Now, you go to the file. I have shown you the easiest option of clicking folder. Sometimes you may not get the folder option. You simply go to the file and click open, okay, and open is there. There is a folder. Just click open. It will give you the window for opening the data. Okay. Now, let me move into the Stata browsing. Like, as I told you, once again, I am operating. If I just browse the data, since we don't have not yet loaded any data set here, it is not giving you the data set. If it is there, it is loaded. I will load it and explain you. Now, let us look at it's like an Excel page. Okay, it's the data page of Stata. It has a rectangular n by m rows and m columns data set. So, this is what we are trying to explain in the slide, that the data sets are rectangular arrays with n observations are on the rows, okay, and on the column entries are defined as variables. Okay. So, therefore, we are writing as n into m variables. All right. Now, coming to the opening of data, we already mentioned. Otherwise, you simply type use. When you know the path name, folder name, where to save or where to start the data, and you know the location of the data you have already downloaded, and that too it is in DTA format, .dta format. .dta format is here, .dta, look at carefully. Now, when you know that, you simply type use use, this is the command, okay, use, then folder name with inverted comma, double inverted comma, okay, and there is a path space is there. Usually Stata doesn't read the space, okay. You need to use some in between entries, like it is better to enter underscore, okay. It will make the path of that file name as continuous, okay. So once you do that, at the end, better to always suggested to enter this as clear, okay, because the earlier, if by any chance any data has already been opened and you are again opening this, there might be some confusion with the variables, okay. So, better to write clear, it will clear earlier additions. Now, you will work with the fresh data, there will be no question of repetition. All right. So, I can use the same one, since use, you can we can do use comma file path name. Now, again file path name, you can go just by clicking here. I can tell you, suppose your file is here, by any chance if it is there, if it is in the D file, just click here, right click on the here, you just right click here, copy address, okay. Copy address, click on the copy address, it will give you the path name, okay. Now, use comma okay. Now, it will be like use comma double inverted with right paste on the file path name you have already copied, then you close the path name, like I mean, since the file is already in .dta name, we need not type .dta again. .dta is already there. If it is a Stata version, you have already carefully downloaded the Stata version. So, it will automatically come up with .dta file, okay. Then you end with, do remember that you start with a double inverted comma, you ended with the double inverted comma, then with comma clear, it will actually open the data. the easiest way to click that, click on that folder and double click on that particular file, it will show you the data. Okay. Now, if the file name is not specified with .dta extension, Stata assumes .dta suffix. Okay. But subject to, like for example, if it is an Excel file, okay, so obviously it will not be in .dta. Now, Stata will automatically assume as .dta file, because these files can be converted to Stata easily. Excel file is generally convertible to Stata. Okay. But it will automatically assumes that you have a .dta file, okay, if it is not there. Now, issue comes when you have embedded spaces. We have already said embedded space, like here, if there are embedded spaces. So, it is always better to enclose with double quotes, okay, double comma, as I told you, inverted comma. So, double quote is written for that only, alright, then only it reads the exact path of the data. Alright. So, Stata recognize files in a tree style directory with different folders, because tree style basically it has a clear sequencing of the folders, then subfolders. Now, we will talk about that in a short while. Okay. Now, here some commands in Stata are important to read the directories and their folders. Okay. Now, if I open the Stata, the directory, since we do not have the directory by default at the corner, left hand corner, you can see it G, like here PWD, since we do not have data. If I just type PWD here, PWD, enter, it will show you where your directory is defined. Okay. Directory of the Stata is defined. Now, maybe it is in C drive, but for us it is in G drive. Okay. See, since our Stata is in G drive, so it is showing G drive, but by default when it is installed, it takes to the C drive. Okay. Now, if you do not have enough space in C drive, you can change it to other drive. Alright, you can change it to other drive. What you will do in that case, you have to type cd change directory. Okay, change directory. If it is in C drive, then cd double quote c dot c colon slash Stata is already there, then end your double quote, okay, 2, okay. Now, C basically, since it is already there, we have already checked that it is there in G. Now, it will always show that it is in G file. You wanted to change it to, suppose you want to change it to D. Now, you have to enter is D. Okay. Instead of I was telling you for you as C, if it is already there in C, now you wanted to change it to D, you have to type as D. Okay. CD double quote D slash double quote D colon slash Stata and quote ends, double quote ends, enter, it will automatically save it to D file. Alright. Now, it depends upon how you are actually doing it, and we have already written the command here for your use. You can use this particular command. Okay. Now, let me move into, now if you have any subfolder, for example, you are working with some file called wealth, okay, the total national account estimates, you have some data. Within that you have some particular state GDP files. Okay. So, you want to make another subfolder. You do not want to operate from that GDP or the entire GDP file. You wanted to operate in a small folder. Okay. You have certain small explanation required. So, you want to change the you wanted to create a new directory. Change directory already said, subdirectory, you can say subdirectory within the bigger folder, the main folder called E here. For us E slash data, E colon slash, we wanted to get within E another file. Okay. For that you need to enter the command at mk dir Then with the same type of format, you know that Stata directory, if I add a new name to it, it will create a subfolder like with the name Stata dir. Okay. Now, this is going to be very useful, where we are going to discuss that how to operate some existing data. I have already shown to you last time. So, what I will do, I will open once again this and start opening a new database with the sys sysuse command, sysuac. Okay. Let me just tell you, if I just type dir, it will give you the directory, okay, all the data set that I told you in the last lecture. Now, if you when you know those path, those name, live exp we are using, you can use auto also, auto it will take the another data file also. Okay. Now, network one if you use, it will open the network data. Now, I am interested because some of the important files, some of the important variations are there in live exp data. So, I will be using live exp. Okay. So, I use again sysuse space live exp, okay, enter. Now, it has already opened, the data has been opened. Now, you can find out from our right hand side with the variable names. Okay. Now, you just wanted to see the what kind of data and how it looks. You can also open the data browse. Okay. Data browser will give you the entries of those data. I will tell you in a short while what are there, why the different colors are there, I will explain you. Okay. Now, let me move into the section we are trying to explain. Okay. So, we already discussed sysuse command, and this is going to be very useful. Now, another aspect of importance for user. Now, for example, these are Stata install data. We have shown you Stata install data. Suppose you don't know where is the directory and you want to operate from other data source. There are other options also. Stata gives many other options. So, you have to go for a help and web use. There are a number of data sets available in the help command. Okay. So, simply type help web use, help space web use. It will redirect you to many links with now there are so many, but view complete PDF. Okay. Now, actually here these links are not visible because it you should have the exact name of that particular file. It is better that you search in the Google. Okay. Search in the Google other data set available for Stata. Okay. It will give you many other data sets. All right. Now, if another important aspect to be noted, once you know the data, you wanted to, since we have already opened a data set called live exp of the Stata version. Now, Stata data, we wanted to understand the data. Simply type, you wanted to what kind of data it is. Simply type note, okay, notes. Simply type notes here. It will give you all the variables, like from the nodes it is here nodes, then what kind of variables are there, like here region, country, population growth, then life expectancy, then gross GNP per capita, safe water, all those information are there. Now, what kind of information is it gives? Population growth rate, annual under population growth variable, population growth rate, annual growth rate by percentage from the year 1980 to 1998. Similarly, other information you can find out on your own comfortable approach. Okay. So, let me proceed for our other set of information which is of very important for the users. Okay. Now, let us come to Stata command syntax. Usually, Stata has a clear defined order of syntax. Okay, a clear defined command syntax is there with Stata. If you deviate that order, Stata is not going to read your command. Alright, you have to follow this order. If you have so many indicators to be searched or to be operated with your data, then you have to follow this ordering. Okay. This is the basic structure of the syntax. Now, what it is there? Now, for example, there are so many syntax, it is highlighted with the square bracket. Okay. So, square bracket only indicates what command is there. What kind of different indicators are there in the command. First is by command. By is there. If you have a variable, you need to sort with that particular variable. Okay. For example, you wanted to locate from our data, you have life expectancy and you have GDP. Okay. And you have already derived a cross tabulation or a descriptive statistics between these two variables. Okay. And but GDP you have already categorized and life expectancy you have already categorized, and it is giving you suppose by 3 by 3 or 4 by 4, whichever indicator you have already categorized. Now, you wanted to sort it by another variable. Okay. You wanted to sort it by another variable, for example, by maybe by region. Okay. Sort by region. Your interest is to sort all the variable through region. Region is the indicator. Now, you start with writing sort by region, then you enter the command like tab. Tab is the command I am going to explain you later. Tab, then variable list, two variables. Tab means basically a cross tabulation we are deriving, two-way table if you are trying to derive, then two variables to be entered here. We will explain all those things later. Now, till this we have already done it. Now, what is important? If you have certain variables which require some other manipulation, okay, some extent of manipulation, like why manipulation? You want to add certain variables and derive the total effect of it, or if you want that your variables should only show you till certain limit, not exceeding that limit. Okay. For example, if you are working with age category, you wanted to highlight the youth age, and they are indicators in any databases, okay, in maybe in IIT's databases. So, you can use the less than expression, less than or equal to with that particular age. If you type, it will only show you that particular result, not with entire age category. Alright. So, otherwise that is I have said you have used less than equal to command. If you have a range defined from this age to that age require, then you have to define the range. Okay. Now, we will explain all those things while we will operate with range, operate with weight. Weight is technical. At this moment I am not explaining in detail. Certain weightages are given to certain variables, and weights basically are attached to a variable to represent that particular variable in the analysis. Okay. And some of the explanation we already made earlier in our earlier lecture, more clarity can be derived. Okay. How weight variables actually differentiate your result. Similarly, now after that, using from the file name, from which file name you wanted to operate. Just command, you are giving a command, but you do not have a data, which file name you wanted to use to derive the result. So, file name next comes with file name. Okay. Then comes option, okay. Comma is there, comma must be entered, bracket should be avoided, bracket is not required except weight. Okay. Bracket, while entering the command, brackets are not required, or should Stata does not read brackets. Okay. We are explaining this to highlight which sequences are there. Now, in the option generally we gave like we wanted to generate a new variables after your expression, like you want less than of this age. Now, this should be defined as a new variable. Okay. So, generate G and Jane a new variable. We will tell you later, but at this moment I am just giving you a sample of those explanation. Okay. Now, commands can usually be abbreviated. Suppose you want to summarize the data, summarize give you sum of everything. For example, I will show you here, like you want summarize, you can write summarize, you can write summarize, but in short you can write sum. Okay. Sum, if you just click on the variable, what is going to give you? It will give you only one variable information. Okay. It gives how many observations are there, what is the mean of it, what is the standard deviation it is, what is the mean, maximum. This is standard summarize information. Okay. You can get detailed summarize also. There are other options, other commands will tell you during our operation later. Okay. If you want all the summarize, then you have to click all the summarize, sum all the variables. Okay. It will actually give you only sum, it gives automatically SUM, simply type SUM, it will actually generate the detailed result. Okay. It is, I think, highlighted here. Alright. So, no need to type all the variables, only sum is going to give you the detailed result. Alright. Now, but dot is very important. Sum ended with dot should not be actually entered. Okay. Since it is very case sensitive, Stata is very case sensitive, do not type a leading dot, okay, a leading dot after the command. Alright. And okay, simply you type the command and enter, press enter, that will give you the result. Now, similarly, the command is often followed by a names of one or more variables. Okay. You can, if you have one variable, it will give you the information of one. If it is more variable, then it will certainly give you more information. Okay. But for simplicity, some commands automatically take entire variables, like summary, you need not type everything. Okay. Simply SUM, it will by default take all. If you want 2-3 information, then 2-3 information can be collected individually. Okay. Now, a variable name can be abbreviated to a minimum number of letters, which I have already said, instead of typing everything. Similarly, there are some expression command here in the sequencing of our syntax, command syntax. I have already said expression is here, expression. Okay. So, expression I already told you, EXP stands for expression. I told you it may be within a range, it might be less than or equal to, or maybe addition, maybe power. Okay. There are different ways of operating that particular command. So, here it is written, you can use this, you can use double equal to stands for equal, and stands for if there are joint variables and there information you want. So, that can be taken here. These stands for or, these use this variable or another variable, or maybe also you or this range or another range, if you wanted to enter, or is important for you. Okay. Not this exclamation mark is used for not, and if that is not the variable you want, so this option can be, that is the particular figure you do not want, you just simply add exclamation mark. Okay. And if you have a power, like you want 2 to the power q, so you have to enter the power command. Okay. There is no such in the keyboard, there is no q format entry, only power is there in the keyboard. So, power command can be entered. Okay. So, I have already explained this, I am not spending much time, like expression with range I have already explained. Similarly, using a file, more or less I told you, using a file, you either you click on the window here. Okay. If you do not know the path name in your command, you simply click on the window and it will automatically attach the path name to that particular place. Okay. Otherwise, you better to type the if you know the path name and you can click get the path name which I told you in the last class, you get the path name and type it, it will open the file. Okay. But while we have already started typing the command, you cannot click the window to get the path name. Okay. Folder, you have to get it from that particular folder of the D file. If it is in D file, click on the D file, it will automatically come. Okay. So, I think these are already done a bit, I am not spending much time on it. Now, let us move to help command and see help command. I am just it's very simple to explain, like you want help, suppose I will simply type help here, HELP help. I want regression, I simply want REG. Okay. Insert, you can write regression REG, RESSION, regression SSON, or you can type REG insert. So, enter, it will open in another window with its information of various type of regression, and there are different entries here. You will get those information from this new window. But C help, instead of that, if I simply write C help, just I go to the, as I told you already, the page of command in the page of command in the keyboard will actually give you the earlier command. So, here instead of help, you simply write C help. Okay. So, write C help, it will not give you another new window, it will give you on the same window. Okay. The same window, the information will actually pop up in the same window. Sometimes it is easy to actually operate from the same window. Okay. So, this option helps a lot. Otherwise, in the top down in the click based approach, you just go to the main menu bar, and from the main menu bar there is a help option. Here is a help option, I have already highlighted you. So, click on the help option, other information will actually come for your clarity. Okay. Now, let us move. Similarly, if you do not know the command, we know the command REG, so we typed REG for help. If you do not know the command, simply type search and any command. You want regression, write regression. Okay. You want analysis, cross tab analysis, write, it will give you another window for options, okay, for help options. Now, find it is usually used in the earlier version of Stata. Now, from 13 version onwards, search command is actually is given in the Stata, not find it command. Okay. So, there are numerous information you can get it from the chart room of Stata of the Stata version or of the Stata corp. Okay. And otherwise, you can get all those information from Stata server. Okay. And let me move into some other information, like variable types, what kind of variables are there and how it is important for our analysis and how this is being entered. Like broadly, variables are numeric type and string type. Okay. So, some of the explanation we made earlier lecture on numeric and string, but further I will explain you here how it is actually stored in Stata interface, okay, or in Stata data. All right. So, numeric will store numbers, while the actually string store in text, okay, and numeric string generally store in text file, and it can also be used to store numbers, but you will not able to perform numerical analysis if it is a string entry. Okay. Okay. So, string entry is if you simply operate on the string, since it is in text entry, okay, some characters are there. Characters may be character representing a picture, okay, a graph. Okay. So, but if you simply just go by the command, we have already shown you some basic command for the string variable, it will not operate. I will clarify further. Okay. Like numeric data, it is either in integer, in a full number, or in real number, or in ratio format, in date or missing format. Missing data are also there, they generally give in numeric number. Okay. So, they enter storage type is either byte, int, long. I will show you in the variable window. float or double float, they consume the byte space with 1 for a byte if it is in byte space, integer for 2, similarly 8 for double. Whereas in the string, okay, string data, there are string varies from 1 to 2045, okay, to define fixed length string up to 2045 characters, alright. So, it consumes till to 2045 characters. If it is a long string, then it comes with strl, okay, and this is generally suitable for storing plain text, even the binary large objects as well, images and word processing documents. Now, since there are so many different windows and so many different commands, and those commands takes huge space, usually consume our much of a space and very difficult to operate, it is always suggested you start with compress, okay, compress command. You type compress, compress with your data, it will convert your data to a compressed folder, the compressed data format in Stata. The data which we have shown you here is already in compressed format. If you type compress, it is not going to give compress further, okay. They have already suitably compressed the data to the best compressed format, okay. Now, it is interesting to note the important part here is how the data is actually loaded in Stata in .dta format. Usually in 3 colors, we told you even in the earlier, but now I will show you black, red and blue, okay, black, red and blue. Better you go to the data browser to see it correctly of the data which you have already loaded from the Stata directory, okay. So, this is the life expectancy data, and in this data what I will do, I will just show you, I am just going to click the fast entry, very fast entry, okay. When I enter it, a 1 is written here, okay, 1 is written here, but the name is shown to us Europe and Central Asia, Europe and Central Asia, but 1 is entered in the data, okay. So, now I will tell you what is why they have made different colors to different entries. There is a black color, there is a red color and there is a blue color. Black color are simply real numbers or the numeric numbers, okay, or numerics, alright. Whereas the blue color is not purely numeric, it is labeled with numeric number, okay. Central Asia they have coded as 1, okay. If I just click on, I am just scrolling further, okay, I am just scrolling down, I am just putting a click here and going little down till here. Now, NA North America, NA stands for North America, but the entry with a label 2 is there. So, 2 is there. So, whichever the variables which are labeled one, they are actually they are highlighted with blue color, okay. Whereas the red color are actually in string, okay. They are actually character space, they with the same command we cannot operate those one, we have to actually convert it to other format. Maybe sometimes we do de-stringing, we will tell you later, okay. At this moment I am not spending much time, I have already clarified 3 colors, we will clarify or the details we will clarify in our other lectures, okay. Now, log file, as I already told you, is also important. Log file is also important. How to open log file? Simply you click here, log begin, it will start saving with the file log, but log by default it is coming with .smcl, okay. But for our further use, like we want to copy those for for our Word file, better to convert it into txt file. Log file, log is there another format, if you save it, it will actually save in txt text format, okay. And text format is generally easy for converting the log file to our Word file, okay. This saves differently. Now, what I do, there are otherwise you can start from file, then you there is a log, okay, log begin. If you click it log begin, you can also do that, alright. So, all those details are there, we may continue from the next class. thing, you can read it. We will continue. I have just given you the command called log. Otherwise, I mean I have already shown you how to operate through click based approach. You can, otherwise you can simply type log using file name. If you know, you can enter a file name, okay. Comma txt replace. Replace is there, if any existing log file are there, it will automatically replace. Txt, if you do not give txt, it will automatically save by default in SMCL format, which is not generally suggested if you are copying that to a Word file, okay. So, this is the way you can do it. Rest of the details will continue. We have other details also for your explanation. We will do it in our next class, like we will talk about how to read log files and where to use log files and how to use log files. We will also clarify capture log close, whether to close the log file or not, what is wrong if you do not close it. We have also information on do file, how to operate do file, what kind of commands we generally do, what is the best method of operating do file. Okay, we will do it, continue those things in the next class. Within the do file, it is very interesting to note some asterisk entry, double forward slash, triple forward slash, even forward asterisk from the beginning and the end, how it reads. If you execute from there, it actually operate with those commands. We will continue that in the next class. I think it is better to close here. There are so many information given for you for your preparation. You please go through. Other details will continue. With this, let me close here. Thank you.